This is the FMS P51 Mustang. You've seen the me do the sliding canopy video that was done manually. Now I've added the inexpensive $13 retract servo on the bottom, popsicle stick, flex shaft. The canopy gets full open, as you can see here. I'm getting a really nice open, probably even beyond scale. I can adjust it. And I'm getting almost full closure, which can either be adjusted with my transmitter or just moving the arm. So this gives you an example of how to power a sliding canopy. Okay, I'm going to disconnect this, give you an idea of, that was the budget version. This is a more expensive method. This is the Hobby King P40. 66-inch planer, scratch built the interior. 100% scratch built from little stuff lying around the house. And then shoelaces are used for the seat belts on the Pilot. I think the Pilot is actually painted by the famous modeler Roy, I think it's Vandercourt from New York. I bought it at a Buffalo trade show, and he happened to be there at a New York trade show. So I'm going to try to get this to stay so that you guys can get an idea of how nice these Fregeli servos lock in and work, but I'll plug it in and then hold it for you. Alright, so this is a Fregeli linear servo. You can see this still has to be touched up and painted. I add some Vaseline to allow it to slide better. So this is a Fregeli linear servo. The movement is almost like a pilot's hand cranking it. I haven't figured out how to get the Pilot to move his arm yet. That's my next accomplishment. My next goal, I should say. And the canopy locks in. It's airtight and sealed. There's no chance. I've done this on a lot of canopies. I've never had failure in air when I lock them. So opening up again, I build a lightweight wooden frame in here. Sometimes I'll put a frame on the inside canopy as well. In this case I didn't. So this is a more expensive linear method of powering your canopy. Again, from Fregeli servos, which have been fantastic and virtually fail-proof, I guess is the word I should look. Now I'm going to take you over to questions I'm getting asked on the actual process itself, so you can see how inexpensive and easy it is. First thing you want to do is make yourself what I call a jig. Simple block, 2x4, whatever you want to do. You can see I've used this multiple times. I put these little guide rails here. If you're going to make your slide rail out of plastic, you need bar stock that looks like this on the inside. You put it here, then either in a drill press or if a very careful handheld Dremel tool, in a drill press, you simply put it like this and let it run down and scroll a nice little line, and you'll get a line. This was a bad version of what can happen when you move your hand, but you'll get a line that should be straight down the middle, and then you use some sandpaper and clear that out. If you're going to do it with brass, which I've done on the heavier duty models like the LXP40 and the Corsair, I've done this. Again, wear goggles. The drill press will be set just like this. You let it run down and it actually gives you a perfectly straight line. Then you have a couple options. This is what I call the H channels. An H channel will slide right in that groove that you cut. So this works on the inside. This gets glued to your canopy on the outside. That's what I did on the P51. I did use a smaller H channel. This is just an example so you get an idea. Or on some models, I have gone to ball link type assemblies where this will slide on the inside of the canopy. These are a little bit easier to use just because they're going to go inside the canopy, inside that rail right there that you've cut. Then this will get poked through a hole in the outside of the canopy like you see on the P40 here, and then they're screwed in. So adjusting the height is a lot easier with this method. This method's a little bit more difficult to do, but again, you still get some great results with a little bit of practice. You'll see what I do is I typically tape everything. Don't glue anything final. Tape, use double-sided tape when possible. You can even double-sided tape your rails in to get the correct height. Then when they're set, put a little bit of CA just so that you could lift up the gluing areas. Then you put 5-minute epoxy, clamp it, forget about it. And I've never had a failure in flight, and you know the kind of pressure canopies can go under in flight. So I seal them up. So I hope that answers a lot of the questions in the simplest form on how to do a sliding canopy.